Oh, no, no, no. We don't kill ourselves with stuff now. Come on, Claire. No. Don't
So,
you Romeo and Juliet this thing. Hi, welcome back to Panda Reacts. I'm Sandra and this is Ken.
hi.
And we're back with, oh, and Panda's joining us, yes. We're in a different location today because Ken's power went out because we had a windstorm. So, and my other room that I usually film in is busy. It's got boxes in it. So we're watching episode 11 today, and just an apology. I didn't press the right button to record episode 10. So we reacted to it, but we didn't film it. So it never got actually saved. So that I put out episode 9, but I wasn't able to put out episode 10.
Epic failure of professionalism.
But we did get one comment on episode 9. Thank you so much for your views. It's from Gopher Lynn. And it says the grave was in the book. I think Adam is the oldest and is the heir. Well, thanks for your comment. Um, yeah, I didn't remember the grave in the original book. So good. But I thought little Jamie was the heir. Jamie is the oldest of Jenny's kids. However, and I know that Jamie left the place to him, but I don't know who Jamie's oldest is. I don't remember. So, but I don't remember anyone named Adam, so I might be on a different page than that. But anyway, what happened last week when we didn't film it was back in America, basically. So we all predicted, well, in the book, obviously, but it wasn't long before Mr. Bug seclude Rachel in the horse place, in the
Stable.
stables, and because the dog had run away, it had smelled Ian, and so she was like, "Oh, Ian must be back," but then she couldn't find Rolo because it
Mm.
ran away to Ian, and then Ian went to the house where Claire was busy operating on Henry, who had bullet wounds and whatnot. And he went there, and William said, "Oh no," or was it William or was it Miss Woodcock? Someone told Ian that Rachel had, no, it was Denzel. It was Denzel. Denny said, "Oh no, she's not here, Ian. She's gone to the stables."
Mm.
And so Ian went off to find her. Meanwhile, William was going to tell Rachel that he loved her, but chickened out at the last minute. So while he was contemplating life, he did make a turnaround and decide to go back to the stables to tell Rachel how he feels. But before he could do that, Ian had arrived there, and Mr. Bug was like, "Good, now you can watch me kill her, ha ha ha." And she's like, "Don't do this, you're a good man." But no, he's not a good man. And Ian got there, but it wasn't Ian who saved the day.
Nope.
It was
He
William.
got an axe to the shoulder. So,
Yeah, Ian got cut pretty bad, and it was William who shot Mr. Bug
yeah.
from behind, I believe it was,
Yes, that's true. Well, he was about
to
you
kill
know,
people, to
he
kill
was-
Ian, because I think he'd thrown Rachel to the side. He was going to kill
We
Ian.
got the POV shot of him about to go. Ah!
Yeah, exactly, and then he died.
Oh, classic
Yes.
villain death there.
So Rachel and Ian, they had a chat later when Ian was all bandaged up, and she was like, I don't know, there was some point when he had said, "Oh, I did tell you I loved you," and she was like, "When was that?" And was that what you said it in Mohawk and it doesn't count or something like that?
Yep.
So he finally was like, "I love you," and she was like, "I love you." But I don't know if they straightened that out because she's a Quaker and there was still this whole she's a Quaker, how was this going to work business? Because Quakers are supposed to marry Quakers.
This was not resolved.
No, and the friends are supposed to say it's okay. You have to like get your marriage approved by the Quaker Society of Friends. So we'll see how that goes down. My cat has
Don't mind.
decided to make an
Don't
appearance.
mind.
Duke.
He's just hanging around.
Anyway, then back in Scotland, it was not much went on. Ian died, which we knew was
Yes.
going to happen, and Jamie helped bury him.
Yep.
And
And then there was this conversation about getting on a boat and getting back because,
yeah,
get back to life.
and of course they said what boat they were going to be
So we
on.
all know that when that happens, that's instantly the Titanic.
But the thing I
So
had a problem with was that Jenny was supposed to, in the book, Jenny goes with Jamie.
yeah,
So either they decided to scrap all of Jenny's storylines, because to be fair, she's not really a main character when she comes back. She's just kind of grandma helping out, right?
yeah.
I don't recall any giant story with Jenny, but correct me if I'm wrong. But Jamie gets on this boat, and lo and behold, it's destroyed at sea. Somebody saw it, and or
No
was on the
survivors.
recovery team, and there were
Mhm.
no survivors. Claire's like, "Shut up, that's not true," because it was John who told her.
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, that's not true. No, 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 you're full of crap." And so she wasn't accepting it, whereas John was accepting it slowly. They
Mhm.
both love Jamie, so the pain there is real on both sides. But then Claire decides she's going to help Miss Woodcock with her little spy venture, because Miss Woodcock, who was Walter
Mhm.
from the prisoner camp back at the beginning of season 7, who dies of the blood in his lungs, I believe it
Mhm.
is. He was having like some kind of aneurysm. Um, that's his wife.
Mhm.
So Mrs. Woodcock, who I also happen to know is romantically involved with Henry. I don't know if they'll play that out or not, but they are in the book. Um, she's like, "Oh no, my informant has been caught, and now they might know who it is. Like they might know who I am." And Claire had figured out from like showing up in town that the soldiers don't stop the women. They don't care. They don't search them or anything. So she takes a risk. She goes back to the garden she already was at the day before. And they're like, "What you doing
Suspicious.
here, lady?" And she's like, "Oh, I just need to get a few more things. Well, we're here for herbs. I've got a
Yeah.
soldier who's been shot, helping him out."
No, she talked about the soldier who was kind of pooping himself,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and that kind of
yeah. She talked about
the
diarrhea,
officer.
and then the guy was like, "Okay, you can move on." Then she stuck that in a little hole in the
In the
wall,
birdhouse.
the birdhouse. And then yes, she was basically the a warrant was out for her
She's caught.
her traitorous butt.
Yeah.
At and so John comes running home because Richardson shows up.
Mhm.
Richardson is someone we need to keep an eye on, because he was the one who sent William through the swamp that almost killed William in the first place. And he's kind of been the one William reports to. He's sketchy, so watch out for him. But he did do a real service, kind of hinted to John, if this lady needs to be like related to you or
Yeah.
something,
If
you
she's
gotta
a
do something.
friend,
Click, click. You gotta do something. So John takes the hint, goes home, and says, "You have to marry me right now." And she's like, "What? You suck. I don't want to marry you." But if you don't, they're going to come here and arrest you. And she's like, "I don't care. Jamie's dead. They can kill me, whatever." "No, you don't understand. If they arrest you, then they're going to arrest all your
Everybody.
family. And, Rachel and Ian are in trouble, and Denny's in trouble, and all that."
Mhm.
Anyway, so now we're at, will she marry him? Oh, wait. And Roger went back to Galis, the Galis thing, and Dougal shows up, and Roger's having this whole conversation in his head, and then he says to Buck, "We can't stay here. This lady's killed like 5 of her husbands. We can't stay. I know who she is. She's a time traveler."
And Dougal's dangerous too.
And Dougal's freaking dangerous. He's like, "Hey, I'll sample your wares." And we all know where that goes. It equals Buck, who's already there. What? Roger's like losing his mind, because he's like, kind of trying to calculate all the time traveling that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because she went back in a different time, and we didn't see Bree this episode. Hopefully, we'll catch up with her this episode and find out um, what's going on with her. So that's where we're at. What's going on with Galus? Oh, wait, that was the whole dog tags thing. So someone showed up. Was it Dougal? Who said the fairy guy had dog tags or this jewelry, whatever the heck it was. And Roger's like, "Can I look at that?" And then he's like, "Crap, this like says," because they said, "Oh, it has your son's name on it, like Jeremiah or something like that."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "What?" Turns out it's his dad. His dad went missing in action in the war.
Dog tags from World War II.
Well, guess where he went? He went back in time. I don't know if there was some, I can't remember, but we do know that these portals show up in weird places. Like Bree found one in the cave.
This one showed up in the air.
This one's obviously in the air, and he flew right through it.
Flew right through it.
And being a time traveler, zapped back to this day and age, probably thinking of his own child or his wife, and ended up back in the time with his own relatives.
Mm-hmm.
So he's out there wandering around in a British uniform. Roger might actually get to meet his dad. So that's really where we're at. Roger's dad, John and Claire. Yeah. Ian and Rachel are good. Jamie on his way back in a boat, presumably dead. Let's just say Jamie never dies. Come on, man. Do you really think he's dead? There's another season.
No.
They can't kill off Jamie. They've tried that before. She thought he was dead from Culloden, and he wasn't for 20 whole years.
Yeah.
Don't make that mistake again, Claire. Jesus. Could have gone back the year after Culloden and found him. Oh no, what? He was in jail. My bad. Yeah, it wouldn't have been good. He was in the jail. Anyway, finally, let's get to this episode.
Whom we bless in thy name, so these persons may surely perform
Damn, Claire.
and keep the vow and covenant betwixt them made. I, Claire Elizabeth, take thee, John William, be my wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health.
Now, was she wearing 3 now? Does she still have Frank's? That's 3. Maybe she wears the other one on her other finger. Unless it's gone. I can't remember. Now I'm back in my bed where I wanted to be, so I can be miserable and cry again.
Which, and I suppose, isn't unheard of when you're shot down over open water.
It would be weird if he flew through the time thing in a plane and landed his plane here.
That's what I was thinking. Is like,
whoa!
Land up off a hurricane in
Jeremiah
1739.
disappeared without a trace.
I wouldn't have asked to marry you otherwise.
In point of fact, he never has asked me to marry thee.
I didn't.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No, thee didn't. I would have noticed.
You also didn't say you loved me either.
Although I do recall a few very moving declarations, there was no suggestion of marriage among them. Perhaps thee should finish telling me about not being married before we go any further. Who was thy wife? What happened to her?
I thought he told her this story. He didn't?
Her name is Wayo Hawe, but I called her Emily.
Is
Yeah, she's alive.
thy wife is alive?
She was. The last time I saw her.
Oh, crap.
But how could you possibly owe him that much?
You don't even
Well.
I
know.
dare say my reputation will survive, more or less intact.
He gave me you.
And as for happiness, my dear boy, I have all that I shall ever need.
Yeah.
Thee never saw her again.
Yeah.
Not until much later.
Did see her again, and then I saw my
I
kid.
was ordered to travel to her village to deliver a message for my general. It was then that I learned the son Emily had bore after I left
It was mine.
was mine. Emily chose me. I was grateful. For Rachel. With my whole soul, I choose you. I hope you will choose me.
I do love thee.
There's a butt coming here, isn't there? Oh no, okay, good. Don't you butt this. Oh no, no, no. We don't kill ourselves with stuff now. Come on, Claire. No. Don't you Romeo and Juliet this thing.
Maybe she's going back to the ether again.
No. This is some stuff she's used before, remember? On column and it's to kill it, she could kill herself with it. What are you gonna do? No. That makes too much mess. At least use the poison.
So tactless to bleed all over the floor.
Yeah. Claire. No, you're not. Nope. Don't even. What are you doing?
Do you see how small a thing death is between us?
Jamie would be pissed if he knew. What are you doing in here, mister?
I will not mourn him alone tonight.
He is not yours! He is not yours to mourn!
Yep, that happened. Oops.
It wasn't me who you were making love to.
Yep.
We both know it.
Or nor were you, I think, making love to me, were you?
No.
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 No, clearly not.
All three of my marriages have been rather unconventional.
Yeah, that's true.
She'll take my leave of
You
you
were
now.
forced to marry Jamie, too.
I'll send Mrs. Figgin with tea.
That's hilarious. Every time her last two marriages is simply to make sure she didn't get put in prison.
Yep.
Tell Jem the Spaniard brought you.
What the heck?
What are you doing here?
I came for you, Anne,
Why?
and for the gold. Now, you see, I've asked Jem where this Spaniard is, and he's played dumb. So I think it's best you come and tell him to do as I say.
Where is my son?
He isn't in the past, if that's what you mean. No, we're not playing it like that. I call the shots now, Gov. You're gonna convince that lad to show me where the gold is. Or I can come up with more creative means of making your boy speak.
You fucking bastard.
Then the three of us, we're gonna get on a plane. Like one big happy family, we'll go to America, wherever the Spaniard is.
What about Mandy?
Then once the gold is in my hands, you and Jem will be free.
What about Mandy? She's still there.
How do I know you'll keep your word?
It's not like you have much of a choice.
Yes! Good job, Bree. I'll go find Jimmy, because he's still in the present.
How did you tie that son of a bitch up first?
Yeah, please tie him up.
Hog tie him and shove him in the closet. Lock the door.
I shall write to your father and let him know that you'll be well enough to set sail for England in a few weeks. And not a moment too soon, as I'm hearing
Put a
that
pin
on
in
taking over
that.
from General Howe, Sir Clinton plans to abandon this city.
I shan't be sailing back to England. I intend to write to my father and tell him that I will remain in America. With Mercy.
Yep. Ta-da.
Our family has roots here in Pennsylvania, and we wish to be wed.
I am merely protecting my nephew from a grave error of judgment.
Mercy Woodcock is a free woman. She's intelligent, she's honorable, and largely responsible for keeping Henry alive.
True.
So unless it's the shade of her complexion that's troubling you,
What troubles me is that the lady is a widow of a traitor to the crown.
Did you not just marry the widow of
Of
a
a
traitor?
traitor?
I am not my brother's son.
That's hilarious.
Hal will never speak to Henry again if he marries without his consent. Because I know what it is, madam, to have your love be a crime.
True.
To live in fear of discovery and of violence. I will not allow Henry, or Mrs. Woodcock for that matter, to risk imprisonment or worse. I will not. My dear, it is important that people see us together.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said no.
That we present a certain face to society. There are still whispers about the haste of our marriage.
I don't give a damn about whispers.
God's blood, Claire! You don't have to love me, you don't have to share my bed, but you must decide, will you be my wife?
Did she just get rejected hardcore?
Yes.
I dance for the poor girl.
Yeah, what's your
She
problem?
seems lovely.
Find I'm not inclined to dance since Rachel left.
Sometimes when their heart and mind are restless, a dance can be a nice distraction.
Would you do me the honor of a dance?
Thank you, Captain, but I'm afraid I am woefully out of practice.
I'm sure Captain Richardson will forgive a misstep or two. Besides, I'm told dancing is a nice distraction.
Oh, those words came back to bite me pretty fast.
At a loss as to what your aim might be, Captain. Do you want to show your hand? Go ahead.
I'm a rebel,
Yeah.
There you go.
working as an American agent in the guise of a captain in His Majesty's army.
No, there won't be any you
What
and
did you want from me, Captain?
This war will be won through intelligence and politics. Your position in Lord John Grey's house makes you uniquely suited to assist our cause on both fronts.
Oh no.
You want me
That's
to
fine,
spy
I am.
on my husband?
I'm also desirous of influence over his brother, the Duke of Pardler. His Grace has been making strong statements in the House of Lords in favor of reconciliation. It should jeopardize everything we're fighting for.
I will not deceive my husband or his family. What is it?
It's a note from Colonel Graves. I wonder if...
Claire!
I'm sorry, Your Lordship. I asked him to wait, but the gentleman insisted on.
He showed up.
What?
Well, this gets complicated now.
This is gonna be interesting. Woo!
There it is.
What?
My blood. Do that again.
But there are a number of soldiers in the vicinity that may be searching for me.
How in God's name are you alive?
Yeah. The Euterpe was set to sail on the evening tide. And her enterprising captain took advantage of an easterly wind. My luggage was on board. I wasn't.
Not me. Apparently Jenny didn't come back. Yeah. He's alive. Oh, hello.
I hate to break up such a joyous reunion, but your son is due home shortly.
Son, William?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You.
James Alexander Malcolm Mackenzie Fraser.
And who the bloody hell am I?
William Lord Ellesmere. Nothing else. That is what you are.
You are a stinking papist.
Stinky papist.
And your baptismal name is James.
Don't hit him.
God damn you, son.
Don't hit him.
I don't want your name. You knew, didn't you? You lied to me. Damn you two.
There he is!
No!
What is the meaning of this? Get back, I say!
One more step!
And he's a dead man.
He's alive. Bloom smack, he's alive! Oh, yes! Alright, that was episode 11. That was pretty awesome. So we could start with at the very beginning and not get to the end part. Yes.
You spoiled it already.
Oh, shut up! I don't think I spoiled it for anyone, okay? Because Outlander is Claire and Jamie. Clearly he's not dead, dude. Like, you knew he was going to come back, whether he was, on a raft somewhere. These people survived an entire hurricane, and they, almost died, a bazillion times. They're not going to die. Jamie's a cat with 9 lives. He hasn't used them up yet.
Yeah, he's not going to. Yeah, but
he's not dead.
No, but
did you really think he was?
Well, no. I'm sad for all the luggage that died.
Oh my God. Whatever. So anyway, yeah, Jamie. We'll talk about Jamie in a second. Okay. First of all, the wedding takes place, as I knew it would. Then Ken's all like, well, that's as far as it will go. And I'm thinking to myself, nope, it's going to get a little juicy. But they didn't show any of it. I know that they did behind the scenes with David Barry, who plays John Gray, and Katrina, who plays Claire, and just talking about how the two of them had to get into this zone to be so completely distraught.
Right. And
it can't be easy. Like, she was howling. Mm-hmm. She was so upset. So he finally had enough of her howling, and he went up there and he was like, I'm not mourning alone tonight. She was like, you don't get to mourn him. I loved him. And then they were like, basically they had like rage sex.
Yeah.
Wasn't that what she called it? Yeah, because they were just clawing at each other. They were drunk as heck.
Cloth ripping.
And they basically used each other and pretended each other was Jamie. That's basically how it went down.
Yeah.
So, but when it all got done and said, they woke up together and they kind of had a mutual understanding of what had actually happened mentally.
Yes.
But also, she asked him a few more questions, Manok should show up at some point. I'm pretty sure he does, if I'm not mistaken. I do remember that name. But anyway, so I figure she's kind of like, she gets out of her grief zone and kind of starts doing things like checking on Henry, writing letters and stuff like that. And Ian comes to say goodbye, but then he drops like, oh, I'm sad because I've lost 2 fathers in one go. And she suddenly realizes it's not just about me. Ian has also been through the ringer. He and Rachel had a cute scene at the beginning where he told her all about Emily and his son. And I thought she was going to be like, I can't marry you because your wife's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't. So
well, she kind of, yeah.
At first she was a little like, what do you mean your wife's still alive? Like, we're not having this pluralistic marriage thing going on. I think she really was taken aback by that. Also, she didn't want him to be in love with someone else. Mm-hmm. Like, she had invested her heart into him.
I think that was the issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was really afraid that he was not fully in love with her.
Secretly loving Emily.
Mm-hmm. But not the case. He told her his whole soul is in love with her. That was pretty awesome, gotta say.
Debate on whether or not he'd asked her to marry him.
Which he didn't, just like he didn't tell her he loved her either.
Yeah.
She was like, when did you say this? Because I don't recall.
Just gotta get on with it here.
Come on. Stop kissing me and actually say you're going to ask me to marry you, because you didn't and I didn't say yes yet. So anyway, Claire is wearing has a fancy dress from John, and she's like, I'm not going to your loyalist fundraising dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, but you have to. Truth is, Claire, he saved you. You owe him.
Yeah.
You have to put on this dress and be his society wife.
Yep.
Or everybody's going to be like, so she really is a rebel because she's not even coming to this party.
Mm-hmm.
So she did come to the party, which we'll get back to in a minute, as we'll flip on over to Bree, who's in the 80s, and suddenly Rob Cameron shows up in her house.
Yeah.
All ticked off because Jemmy won't tell him where the Spaniard's golden is. He's like, I'm taking you so that you can make him say it to me. But she clocked him, so he's out.
Yep. He's on the floor.
Now I know where Jemmy is, but currently the story seems to be a little off from what I recall. So we'll see what happens. Because in the book, it is my belief that she and Mandy go to stay with Fiona and her husband and their children in town because they're kind of afraid to be, like, they don't want to be alone in that big house, right? And then Fiona is involved in helping her out and, you know, make it, because Rob and his gang of dudes come after her. And in the book, and I don't believe it happened like that. I think they're probably cutting the whole Fiona part out, which means they've rewritten it. So in the book,
Does she Sam Gamgee him just like that time? Pow, with the pan.
Well, she knocked him cold.
Yeah.
And you were like, tie him up.
She was getting the hang of that.
But the thing is, in the book, it's Mandy who helps find Jemmy. So I don't know, because remember, they can feel each other. So if he's still in the present...
Yep, she'd know.
Mandy's asleep currently. Now, she heard the buzzing. Why was that? Because Jemmy was at the Stones, where Rob left the scarf.
Right.
But that was a setup.
Yes.
To get rid of Roger, so that only she would be around and he could deal with her.
He underestimated the 100-pound woman.
So what he also underestimates is the fact that Mandy is connected to Jemmy, and if they do, and she should be able to know, to feel him if she gets close enough. So they use her as like a hot cold beacon in the book to find her. So I don't know if they're going to use Jemmy, because it seems to me that now they've got Rob unconscious, they might just use Rob to find him. So they might. Like, I don't know. I'm just going to say I was hoping they'd use Mandy, but
there has to be some kind of a dungeon in this house.
Well, there is. There's the priest hole. Yeah. We've used it before. That's where Mandy likes to hide. That's and right. Where they hid Buck when Rob came over.
I'm just saying, get your dungeon on.
Well, he was all like, oh, you thought he went through the stones. But no, because Rob can't go through the stones. He's not a traveler. They thought he was, but he's not. No. Also, he forgot about Mandy completely, because he was all like, the three of us will take a plane to get the Spaniard's gold in North America. And it's like, where are you putting Mandy? You just going to leave her in the house? There's three of us doesn't equal Mandy. So, I don't know, I think he's going to be tied up. Bree is not one to mess with. She's gone up against a buffalo. She's been raped by a crazy pirate. And had to deal with all of that. She can put up with one measly 1980s man. He's nothing compared to what she's dealt with. It's my little sleep time. Anyway, so that's where that was. It was one scene, basically, and that's all we saw of Bree. Meanwhile, Roger's still on the hunt for his father. He ended up at the Tinker. The Tinker had a gem that he bought so that they could go back through the stones. Because Roger's either thinking his dad has Jemmy, or this is all one big thing just to find his father.
Yeah.
Clearly, Jemmy's not in the past.
Which it clearly is now.
Yeah. So, like I said before, when he thought about Jemmy, when he went through the stones, he found Jemmy, but the wrong Jemmy. Found his dad, Jeremiah. So, will he find Jeremiah in actual human form? Because his outfit was on a dude who tried to kill Roger and Buck, basically.
So it sounds like you might have met him.
Like, that's kind of what Buck was saying. He's like, yeah.
That don't look good.
Well, Roger basically said he wouldn't take off his jacket and just give it to somebody. They don't do that. But we're also back in 1739 or something. Like, you don't know what he did. Yeah. He's not in the right place anymore. Doesn't need his Royal Air Force jacket. There's no flights in the air. But the question is, where is his plane? Did his plane also go with him?
Yeah, I want to see this. I want to see a Hawker Hurricane on the field. In
I really hope
1739
he's got
That'd
his
be cool.
plane. I can't remember because I read the book and I don't recall what happens. I recall pieces, but not the whole thing. So anyway, back to Claire's party because that's basically what Roger and Buck were at. They were still on the hunt for Roger's dad, and they had one gem and needed to get some more. Basically, we're back at the party. Claire comes down in her dress, so she finally caves to it. And Richardson shows up. And I've been saying don't trust Richardson for a while.
Apparently we should.
And he's not the nice spy that we think he is. Yeah, Richardson plays for the other side.
Mm-hmm.
He sent William to find those rebel spy or whatever those spies, which were, people he knew. So it didn't really matter. He was like, okay, I'm going to dance with Claire. And she just got done telling William he should dance with that poor girl he completely dissed and didn't dance with. And he threw her words back in her face. So now she had to dance with Richardson. And he's like, why? She's like, what do you want, dude? And he's like, well, I'm a rebel too. Just in the middle of the Loyalist Party, why don't I just talk about how I'm a rebel and tell Claire? There's people in that time loved gossip. Like Lady Whistle down in Bridgerton, she's against the wall listening to everything you say and then writes it in the gossip column. So they're always listening, these people. So the fact that he just spit that out at a party was not very smart. Then she was like, I'm not spying on my new husband and his family. That's not going to happen. Like, I'm not a total jerk. Like, no, that's not cool. So he was like, okay, fine. But then he threatened that if she revealed him that he'd take Lord John down. She's like, I'm not going to reveal your stupid secret, dude. You don't have to threaten me.
Yeah, we're on the same side.
Yeah, I'm not going to go and tell anybody. What good would that do? Yeah, she already knows the rebels are going to win, so there's no point in doing that. So, anyway, so afterwards, Lord John comes to see her to talk about more social engagements.
Mm-hmm.
And who shows up but Jamie Fraser running up the stairs,
with soldiers running
busting
behind him,
in.
as usual.
The soldiers are after him, but he doesn't care because he got to find Claire. And they start making out right in front of Lord John. He just married her, man. Come on. Now, Jamie apparently doesn't know that.
No, clearly not.
Clearly not. But it's nullified. He's alive. So the marriage no longer is valid because her husband is not dead. So they're making out and just loving each other and whatnot. John seems okay with it. But then John's like, you better go because your son's going to be home soon.
And
who just happened to be outside listening to said conversation? William! William finds out he's the son of Jamie. And Jamie thinks, okay, it's out of the bag now. I'm just going to tell you who I am and apologize to you for, he brings back that he was a stinking papist. And remember, we baptized you, James, and that's actually your name, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't want anything from you. Like, just leave me, get out of my face. And then soldiers come running up the stairs. Yeah, he flings the rosary beads at him. And they're like, get him. And William's like, what are you doing here? What's the meaning of this? And that gives Jamie time to take Lord John hostage. Now, I know what will go down with Lord John and Jamie when they're taken hostage, and it ain't pretty. That's all I know. I'm hoping it's not as bad as it is in the book, because I really didn't like Jamie's side of things in the book, and that's all I'm going to say. But, yeah, anyway, Claire was, like, smiling from ear to ear, because Jamie's alive. Who cares that he had to just run with John? He was here for a few seconds, and now he's gone again.
He'll escape and come back at some point.
He always does. He can't keep them all down.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's going to notice. I thought he noticed she had an extra ring on there, but I don't know. So yay, Jamie's back, because it was a whole episode without Jamie, and then last episode was mostly without Jamie as well. Meanwhile, we had to see Ian like make a little cairn for him, you know, because he was sad and he didn't have a grave. Well, someone needs to tell Ian that Jamie's alive, because Ian's now at Valley Forge, still all upset.
Yeah, this was pretty maudlin, this episode, I must say.
This was crazy, this episode. It packed so much into such a short amount of time. I keep wondering what they're going to put in episode 8. I mean, season 8, like packing it all in. I know when I read some of this stuff, I was like, what? Are you kidding me?
Just don't Game of Thrones it.
What? I don't think they Game of Thrones did, in my opinion, in the book. But anyway, so yeah, that was pretty much where we ended up. There was, oh right, Henry wanted to marry Mercy.
Yep.
And John was like, heck no, man, you can't marry her, that's illegal. And then Claire accused him of being basically a racist. And he was like, no, it's it's not. He knows about what it's like to love someone and it be illegal, and you can't be with them. That's when he lives all the time. So she kind of shut up after that, because she realized he was completely right. He's trying to save Henry from this life he lives.
Yeah.
Also, if Henry marries Mercy, he will forfeit his titles, basically. Although there are other brothers, and in the end it could go to Lord John. He's a brother of the Duke as well. So there are other people who can inherit this thing. What's interesting is they haven't brought, there's, in the books, Dottie, Henry's sister, is in the book. She's there hanging out at the house, because she had made her way there, and she's all up in stuff too. But it seems to me they've cut out Fiona, they've cut out Dottie. They cut out a whole bunch of characters, because there's also a character that never made it onto the screen, who had a little sister who they adopted. I don't know, maybe that will be later, but there was a whole other, there's all these storylines that they just didn't do. They just tossed them out, because Outlander is a pretty fat book. There's a lot of things that happen in there that she just can't squeeze in. Did I miss anything? Besides ruining it for you?
Yeah, you just ruined it.
I didn't ruin it for you.
Spoiled it for me in the beginning.
I did not know that he was coming back this episode, and I forgot how he comes back. I forgot. Because I was waiting to see what would happen. I couldn't remember. That was the book before the book I just read, so it's a book back. I don't remember. Alright, if you liked our video, please give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. We like to respond to them at the beginning of the video. And until next time, bye!